The consumer feedback, we love what you did, Samsung, we love your Galaxy AI, but how could you not support Arabic? So that feedback, we took it to heart. We worked tirelessly day and night to support the Arabic within the same year.
Welcome to Fast Company Middle East, where the future of tech isn't imagined, it's being realized. I'm Jennifer George, correspondent at Fast Company Middle East, and today I'm in conversation with Fadi Abu Shamat, the VP and Head of Mobile Experiences for Samsung. Hi, Fadi.
Thank you for having me. Hi,
It's
Jen.
always a pleasure.
Thank you.
I think let's dive straight into the conversation. And we all are well aware that Samsung is one of the pioneers in the mobile tech space. But I've always been curious about what kinds of experimental tech, especially in the handheld devices space, is what we see translated in the final mainstream devices that we use.
Wow, you started with a tough one and a smart one, but I like that. So that's a very detailed question when it comes to like the R&D and the engineering cycle. Now, luckily enough, I was just super lucky to visit a lot of our factories, so I had the same curiosity, and I ended up asking our engineers exactly the same question. So it starts on both sides. So as a pioneer, as a leader in the industry, there's a lot of responsibilities on Samsung's shoulder to always innovate and introduce new tech. New tech that the consumers never saw, or they never even probably asked for. But what makes Samsung a bit different is that we have another feedback loop, which is from the devices that we sold already to the consumers. We listen to them, we engage with them, we ask them, what more can you expect from our devices? Now, the mix between those two, the innovation, the pioneering of tech that is yet to come, mixed with the feedback of our amazing loyal customers, blending together, and that's where you get the most accurate and amazing filter of what needs to be introduced to the consumers. And I'll give you just one example. Foldable technology was introduced approximately around 6.5, 7 years ago. I would say we pioneered that segment of the smartphone devices. But as interesting information, we actually had that technology ready since 2011.
Okay.
But back then, we did the research, our amazing engineers did the research, and the feedback was that there's no demand for this product in the market yet. Because the smartphone was just being introduced to the consumers back then, and consumers were really happy with the bar type devices. So that's just one example where we had to put back on the shelf an amazing technology, a pioneering, revolutionary technology, because the market was not ready.
Right.
So we always have this kind of like engineering cycle driven first, but then the consumer feedback that comes and corrects that. At the right time, at the right moment, we end up introducing that technology to the consumers.
You know, if I was to just emphasize on the foldable technology side of things, how did you exactly anticipate that maybe 5 or 6 years later down the line is when foldable technology would be something that would be realized and something that would become mainstream?
Absolutely. So again, being a leader in the market has a lot of, I always say, responsibilities and expectations that we have to meet to our consumers. But at the same time, there's a few privileges, which is we get to understand and study the data of whether the sales or the consumer feedback, the social media interactions. There's a plethora of data that we're blessed with. And to go back to your questions, when was the right time? The right time was we analyzed by the maturity, the saturation of the bar type phone. Again, as a leader of the market, we get to understand what's the actual full size of the smartphone bar type consumption. And we anticipated that in that specific moment, the bar type devices will reach to a saturation level. So we need to be ready with the next innovation, something that will impress, something that will take the consumer experience to another level. So that's just one example of, we're very privileged at Samsung that we have that kind of holistic global insight on a big size or a big chunk of the smartphone market.
Now, if we were to zero in once again on the foldable side of things, what do you think is next?
It's a very, very smart question. So I'll try to answer as much as my legal team and my PR team allows me, but there's definitely more room for new form factors of foldable devices. So we started with the foldable type, the Fold 1, then we followed up with the Flip. So that's another vertical movement device, because each, and I'm not really trying to market our devices, but I promise you, by you using the devices, Fold and Flip are totally two different amazing devices, even though they're like born of the foldable technology. But the Fold, with its upward book type folding design, really allows for more landscape, more productivity, more media consumption, versus the Flip is geared towards a totally different target audience. It's more aimed about the young, the mobile, as in they move a lot, and they need a practical device, a device that I can, clamp it into like a clamshell style. And at the same time, once I unfold it, it gives me that full bar type device. So that's just another example. What's next is definitely more form factors, more form factors that will target and appease a different target audience other than the fold and the flip.
Lovely. And if we were to talk about just mobile experiences as a whole, how would you define that process and what it looks like in the Middle East specifically?
Absolutely. So, I mean, there's a reason why we call the division MX, mobile experience, right? We could have called it smartphone, we could have called it smart devices, but the word mobile experience, it's a much more holistic naming of the product division. And there's a reason for that is we genuinely believe that it's our responsibility to provide an experience to our consumers. You know what? I'll simplify it from those old big, flashy words. Our devices has to be interconnected together. Your experience as a smartphone user needs to continue seamlessly into once you move to our tab, Galaxy tab, wants to continue and immediately get the data connected together from your smartwatch after your gym session, for example. You just finished an amazing gym session. Hopefully, I need to do that myself. But my watch needs to automatic in the background seamlessly shift that data of my gym session back to my phone so that AI can crunch that data and advise me that, you know what, you've hit your calorie target, but you're still below on the muscle mass target. So the AI on our smartphone devices, which is again, I keep mentioning on the device because of all the privacy that we have it at our heart, of our consumer data privacy. So the AI on the device needs to advise me of the best exercises that I can, grow my muscle mass. And that's just one simple example of how my data started on my watch, moved to my ring because it complements each other, moved to my phone. So this whole experience is just one example. Another amazing example, if you're having a studying session or a productivity session on one of our Galaxy tablets, the minute that you finish that session and you're copying all that output, immediately it's in the background, seamlessly integrated. You can paste it on your phone, for example. There's no disconnect between the phone and the tablet. Last example, I don't want to prolong too much, is our smart things. So smart things is a beautiful, amazing invention that our engineers in Korea has blessed us with, which allows all of my devices, whether it be the TV, the phone, the tablet, even some of our third-party partners, such as Philips, for example, Lightning system. All of those devices can be controlled under smart things. Smart things will allow me to schedule when do I turn on my water heater, when do I shut down my TV. You know what? I'll give you a fun fact. Using smart things and the mobile experience, the minute that I doze off on the couch, and I do that a lot, ask my wife, the minute that I doze off, my smartwatch will detect that I'm fallen asleep. And my smartwatch will automatically talk to my TV and tell it to shut down. Save electricity, there's no need, the audience is fast asleep. So that's just one example of how the future of smart living and smart interconnected devices will allow us for a better energy saving, tireless and effortless lifestyle.
When we look at the region's tech story, I think intelligent interfaces like smart things are at the heart of it. So I think it only makes sense for me to ask you, what does customer feedback do when it comes to the product development cycles at Samsung? How does it contribute to the kinds of products that you actually innovate and create for audiences in the Middle East specifically?
Do you believe me if I tell you it is at the core, the heart of it? Because every technology that we introduce is customized and it's tailored for each region. I'll give you one example. In 2024, we were proud to democratize and introduce AI to our consumers back at the S24 when we launched it back in January of last year. didn't have Arabic language support. And the feedback was a mix of pleasantly, massively optimistic and positive, but at the same time was so negative as that Samsung, how could you not introduce Arabic as part of your immediate live translate and AI summarize? And we took that to heart. And I gotta tell you, it was a combination of in-house effort with some of our amazing global partners. We worked tirelessly. By the time that we launched the Fold 6, which was almost 6-7 months apart, Arabic language was one of the languages that we introduced on the Fold 6 when we launched it. I was there on stage. I was feeling very proud because myself, my team, we contributed into this editing of the language. Is it correct? Because it's our language.
Of course.
So that is just an amazing example. It's funny that you asked me because it's one of those proud moments where the consumer feedback, we love what you did, Samsung. We love your Galaxy AI, but how doesn't it support Arabic? How could you not support Arabic? So that feedback, we took it to heart. We worked tirelessly day and night to support the Arabic within the same year. A lot of the companies, they would wait until next year's iteration or upgrade. Within the same year, we introduced at this first half the AI with its power to summarize and translate. And we introduced in second half an amazing demand, which is the Arabic language. Later on, it was followed by Turkey because it's part of our MENA landscape, and other languages kept on coming.
So I'm guessing that you guys really did just leverage your first mover advantage and ensure that it was extremely relevant for the region.
Absolutely. See, first mover advantage, again, it's a blessing and a curse. Blessing because, as you said, it gives us that kind of fast movement and flexibility to immediately react to the market. And I say it's a curse because it's a responsibility. The consumers are always saying, okay, Samsung, you impressed us. What's next?
Of
right?
course, yeah.
So what's next is definitely a new era of AI that we're planning to introduce in 2026 for our amazing, beloved, loyal fans. That, let me put it in a more meaningful scope, agentic AI. An AI that really is built for you, Jennifer. Not for me, Fadi, because our lives are different. Our users have it. Obviously, I don't exercise. Obviously, you exercise more. So the AI that is on your devices, our Galaxy AI, needs to think differently, act differently, and need to advise you and interact with you in a different way. Same as for me, I'm a boring, desk junkie. I do a lot of emails, productivity work, and that kind of paperwork. My AI needs to organize my calendar, needs to advise me that, you know what, you're spending too much and sedentary and you're sitting on your desk, move, exercise, plot in. AI would suggest that it can actually organize my gym session in the mid of my peak lowest movement section. That kind of customized AI, agentic AI, is what's coming next to our consumers.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Fadi, for this extremely timely conversation and a very candid one at that. It's been lovely chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.